Patrick Hicks Music Stories presents Every Grammys Ever, the 64th Annual Grammy Awards, April 3rd, 2022. So we've seen the 2020s be the decade of controversy at the Grammys, and there is some of that tonight as well. One thing that is kind of interesting is that this is the first Grammy Awards to not be held in New York or Los Angeles since 1973. That was one of the very first live televised Grammy Awards, and that took place in Tennessee. Now tonight, there's still a lot of concerns with COVID. There was the Omicron variant had popped up, and so the awards were postponed until April, and they were moved from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. We also see another big star not participating in the ceremony. This time it's Drake again. Although this is a first, Drake was actually nominated for Best Rap Performance for the song Way Too Sexy and Best Rap Album for Certified Lover Boy. But then in December of 2021, he asked to withdraw from the nominations. And the nominations are weird again. They've expanded again from 8 to 10 in the major categories. And for the record, I don't really like this. I didn't like it when the Oscars expanded it. I think you should just stick to 5 and try harder to get it right. But I will admit that by expanding the categories, they do seem to be getting some better nominations. In Best New Artist, among others, you see Japanese Breakfast, The Kid Laroi, Glass Animals, Saweetie, Billie Eilish's brother Phineas, but the winner they absolutely nail. The winner of Best New Artist goes to Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo has a good night. Her song Driver's License is nominated in Song and Record of the Year. The song wins Best Pop Solo Performance, and her album Sour wins Best Pop Vocal Album. Now, also joining her in Song of the Year is Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran, A Beautiful Noise by Brandi Carlile and Alicia Keys, Fight For You by H.E.R., Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, Kiss Me More by Doja Cat featuring SZA, Montero, Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X, Peaches by Justin Bieber, and another Brandi Carlile song, Right on Time. Then in Record of the Year, there's a lot of overlap. There's Driver's License, Montero, Happier Than Ever, Kiss Me More, Right on Time, and Peaches. But then we also see I Get a Kick Out of You by Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, I Still Have Faith in You by ABBA. This is, believe it or not, ABBA's first ever Grammy nomination. They also get 4 nominations next year, but they don't win anything. 0 for 5 in their career. Nothing for the work that they did in the 70s. Then we also see the first Big 4 nomination for a relative newcomer to the Grammys, Jon Batiste. Jon Batiste got the most nominations tonight with 11, and he wins the most with 5. He'd been nominated before. Back at the 61st Awards, he was nominated for Best American Roots Performance. Then at the 63rd Awards, he was nominated for Best Contemporary Instrumental Album and Best New Age Album for 2 different albums. But this year he gets a ton of nominations and wins in a bunch of different categories. Best R&B, Best Jazz, Best Classical. He wins Best Music Video for the song Freedom, Best Soundtrack for Soul, Best American Roots Song and Best American Roots Performance for the song Cry. And in Record of the Year, he's nominated for his song Freedom. But he doesn't win. The winner in both categories, Song and Record of the Year, is the song Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, which is the Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak side project. Silk Sonic pick up 4 wins tonight. They also win Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song.
I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open.
Okay, now, let's get into 10 Album of the Year nominees. So let's do the returning nominees first. Kanye West is back with maybe his worst ever album, Donda. This is what I was talking about when I said Life of Pablo was not nominated for Album of the Year, but Donda is. Taylor Swift is back with Evermore. Lil Nas X is nominated, this time finally for a proper album, Montero. Billie Eilish is nominated for her album Happier Than Ever. H.E.R. is back with her album Back of My Mind. Justin Bieber is nominated for Justice. And Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga are nominated together for their album Love for Sale. I'm having PTSD from the 90s here. Okay, now the first timers. Jon Batiste is nominated for his album We Are. Doja Cat gets her first Album of the Year nomination for Planet Her. She also appears on Montero, so technically she's nominated twice. And then finally, Olivia Rodrigo is nominated for her debut Sour. Now before we get to the winner, let's talk about some albums from 2021 that were not nominated. So first up, Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. This gets Tyler his second win, another Best Rap Album win, but he gets nothing in the Big 4 categories, and he doesn't get an Album of the Year nomination, even though Donda, which he beat out for Best Rap Album, does. We've also got the album Jubilee by Japanese Breakfast. She does get nominated for Best New Artist, and this album is nominated in Best Alternative Album, but it loses to St. Vincent's Daddy's Home. We've also got the third album by Turnstile, Glow On. Sometimes I Might Be Introvert by Little Sims. Cavalcade by Black Midi. You've got another Lana Del Rey, Chemtrails Over the Country Club. And then finally, An Evening with Silk Sonic. Even though they won 4 Grammys, including Song and Record of the Year, they weren't eligible for this album because it came out in November of 2021. And the Grammy goes to Jon Batiste's We Are. Now this was a big surprise on Grammy night. Jon Batiste probably had the least name recognition of all of the nominees. He beat out Taylor and Billie Eilish, Lil Nas X and Doja Cat, plus Olivia Rodrigo, who was really hot and most people expected that Sour would win. But Jon Batiste takes it, and a lot of people tried to break down why, and I think the most compelling reason is that the Academy is made up of musicians. That's who votes. It's musicians, not critics, and Jon Batiste is a pretty virtuosic musician. And you really feel that critics are not the ones that vote on these things because this album didn't even get reviewed in a lot of publications. Now that's the uncynical reading of the win. You could also point to the fact that he is very connected in the music industry. He works on soundtracks, on TV, he's the band leader from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That show being a show on the same network as the Grammys, CBS. He performs a lot at awards shows and tribute concerts, and a lot of people have said over the years that the key to understanding the Grammys is not so much that they're out of touch, it's that they give the award to the person that attends the right parties, that knows the right people. So that could be what happened here. But it's not a bad album, it's not a horrible upset in my opinion, even though I like Sour a lot more. But we'll see Olivia Rodrigo again. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time for the highs and lows of the 65th Annual Grammy Awards in 2023.
They say these are the golden years, but I wish I could disappear. Ego crush is so severe. God, it's brutal out here.